Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of MathWiz. Today we'll be going through a Venn diagram question. Again, these questions are taken from the CXC website, the demo e-test. If you don't have a link to those questions, I assure you should do them before the exam. So you can look in the description below for that link. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go through the answers which are not correct and show you what those diagrams would look like. And then in the end, we'll go through the answer for the problem. So they gave us a drawing and asked us, what does this drawing represent? So the drawing that it does not represent is P complement. So whenever you see this, it's a stroke up the top. So some persons call it P dash, P stroke, but really the correct meaning is P complement, which means that everything not in P. So we have our Venn diagram, and everything outside of P would be the areas I have shaded in red. Of course, since this is not the diagram which is there, the answer would not be P complement. The answer would also not be Q complement. Q complement means everything not in Q, or rather outside of Q. So again, if we had Q complement, everything outside of Q would be these elements in red here, which are still in P but outside of Q, as well as those on the outside here. Since this is not the diagram we have been given, the answer is not Q complement. The answer would also not be P union Q. Now, I know most students sometimes you mix up the U with the N-looking symbol, but just remember union would be similar to the U, which means the coming together. So it is the coming together of P and the elements in Q. So we want everything which is inside of P and inside of Q. So everything in Q as well as those things inside of P. The area shaded red would be P union Q. Everything in P and in Q. Since this is not the diagram which was given to us, the answer is also not P union Q. The diagram, however, represents P intersect Q, meaning what elements are common to both P and Q. Now, let's imagine for the set which we have been given, we had the following. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outer, and 5 and 6. If I were to write the elements of P, I would write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If I were supposed to write the elements in Q, it would be 5 and 6. To get the intersection of P and Q, we need to identify what elements are common to both P and Q. That would be 5 and 6. So as you can see, the shaded region, which would represent P intersect Q, would be everything inside of Q. And I know you're probably used to seeing an intersection which looks something like this, where the two sets look like this, and then the intersection would be here. However, because Q is a subset of P, the intersection happens to be all of Q. So let's wipe it clean. So again, your answer would be P intersect Q, which is everything inside of Q. Of course, these questions get more difficult with, a little more stipulation as to what the intersections and the unions look like. However, I hope this little video helped you to identify some of what the other sets look like and why some of the other answers would not have worked. Of course, leave your comment below to let me know what topics you're having a problem with. And of course, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend as we all work to pass these exams.